Okay, Liz, you've done a wonderful job here of thinning the edge and setting the profile, and now we're definitely sharpened right up to the edge, and I don't feel any of those little ticks we talked about earlier. I think we're really on a great path here.
Okay.
So I want to point out something. The stone here has almost identical patterns on the left and the right.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look, it's just a little bit lighter on the left than it is on the right. A little less defined. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So as you're sharpening, the metal is getting pushed into the top of the stone.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see in the pattern how consistent you are with the left hand and the right hand.
Mm-hmm.
And if I looked at that, I could say you're right-handed without even seeing your sharpening, right? So what you want to do is maybe work your left hand a little more than your right hand.
Okay.
Right? So left side a little more than your right side. And then, concentrate on trying to see those patterns become really, really even.
Okay.
Okay? So that's one thing. The next thing is, all these areas that we're not using are very high, and all of these areas that we've been using are going to be dished out just a little bit because you've been grinding on top of the stone. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I have a tool here. This is called a lapping plate.
Okay.
And my lapping plate is, I designed it to have lots of little edges here, and I also wanted it to look kind of pretty and so forth. Now what you do with the lapping plate is you just put some water up here, and you're going to put it on top of the stone and use an X pattern and little circles. Yeah, hear it cutting? Right? And little circles. And you might even stack your hands in the middle and put a little more shoulder into it. Right? You can hear it cut now. It's really cutting, right? Hear it?
Mm-hmm.
And it's taking those high spots down to the low spots and making the stone flat again. That's it. That looks really good. Okay, now rinse the stone off and the plate off. Yep. See this? Oh, goes down in here. Now look at that. The stone is nice and clean again.
Yeah.
So if you flatten and clean, get the metal out of your stone, and you do it pretty often, it really doesn't take a lot of time to do it. So let's move up to the next stone. This is going to be a finer stone. This one is 15 microns. This one was 35. This one's 15. So we're getting finer. The particles are getting smaller. That's going to refine the edge. It's going to make the edge tighter and sharper.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And as you see, it just dropped right on top of there.
Yeah.
But put a little bit of water up there. Rinse off the knife a little bit. Yep. And then start thinning first, and then roll up into your profile. So first we're going to thin, just going to polish out the scratches that we made with that coarser stone earlier. Doing good. Really good. Great.
And then?
Why don't you do the other side first?
Okay.
Why don't you thin both sides, or polish the secondary edge on both sides. So now we're into the polishing phase, right? Always thank polite people, right? Polishing phase. Might want to put a little more water up there. Stone's drying out just a little bit. There you go. Good. And don't forget to pivot right here. Don't let your wrist bend. Just pivot the knife under the pads of your fingers. That's it. See that? You can hold down, but you can pivot. Yeah, that's it. Nice. Yeah. Okay, now let's switch sides and tip up into the bevel. Right? Tip right up into the primary edge. Yep. The sound changed, didn't it?
Yeah, all that.
Okay. Put a little water up here. Okay, switch sides. And remember, you're probably going to want to do a little more on this side than you did on the other side, right?
Because I'm
Watch
right-handed.
that you're getting the tip there. Make
Yeah.
sure you're getting all the way up. As you come back, you're probably going to have to lift your elbow a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, which is that height thing we talked about in the beginning. You know, if the stone is just a little lower, see how it's a little uncomfortable if you get your elbow up that high?
Yeah.
You know, it'd be nice if the stone was just a hair lower for you. Yeah, that looks good. Nice. Okay. And then go back to the other side. Beautiful. Okay, now I want you to try some stropping strokes.
Okay.
So what that means is only going forward and coming back.
Okay, okay.
See that?
Yeah, yeah.
So just treat the stone like a piece of leather. Imagine that the stone is a piece of leather. Yep, transition.
Yeah, it's definitely more comfortable with my right hand, but
It's very learnable. I think it's really good to be able to use both hands the same. Okay, whoop, you clicked off. You
Yeah.
heard it? Yep, good, that's right. You're getting much smoother. I mean, you've been doing this, what, 20 minutes now?
Yeah.
And you've already got a much smoother swing, sharpening swing.
kind of getting the hang of it.
Okay, transition. Okay, good. Now let's put the knife aside and clean up your stone.
And use the loading plate?
Yep. Yeah, you'll have to get that metal out of there. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it
It
just
just-
comes right off.
Yeah, that's the thing. And you can hold this here to kind of block the spray. Like that. And then just push all the water off and look at it. It looks like you did a good job. Alright, so we'll put this down here. And you can put, now this is a 2 micron abrasive. So you've gone from 35 down to 15.
Not under two.
Now you're at 2. And we're going to repeat the same thing you just did. So each time you repeat with a finer stone, edge gets sharper, more polished, more durable. Look at that, your wrist is staying nice and that's good. It's really good. So did you start with the thinning first?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
flatter one.
Yeah, you might go down just a hair more with that. Just a hair more. Yeah, with that thinning. All right. Looks good. Yep. Look how much smoother you are. All right. Okay, now switch to the other side. There you go. Yeah, doing great. Okay. Now I'm noticing you're not quite getting to that back, right in there. Yep. Yeah. That's it. Okay, you might need a little more water up there. The stone's starting to dry out on you a little bit. Okay. That looks good. Now tip up, or switch hands and yeah, tip up. Let's get the edge. Another transition. Oh, you clicked off.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sounds tell you a lot. Oh, it's going to be a great edge. All right, now strop.
Okay.
Well done. So I'm hearing some little ticky sounds, and you probably feel them. What that is grit from other stones. So you want to clean your stone and clean your knife, clean everything up, and then do a few more of those stropping strokes to finish. Because I think what's happening is you've got a little contamination.
Cross-contamination.
Yep, cross-contamination. All right, you probably want to flatten the stone a little bit, just clean everything up. So you did a great job here of cleaning up the stone, and I noticed, Liz, that the ends of the stone here are being worked harder than the middle. That's a really good thing. Most people work in the middle and tend to dish the stone. You're working the ends of the stones really well, so that means you're on your way to becoming a really great sharpener.
Cool.
All right, so let's finish this up. So what I want you to do is about 10 stropping strokes on each side of the primary edge. 1, 2, yep. Yep. Oops. You could hear that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and the other side, same thing. You have to lift your elbow up a little higher to get to the point. There you go. That's it. Beautiful. Yep, that's really good. All right. Now, what I want you to do is what we call jointing the edge. This is the J at the very end. And what you're going to do is very lightly pull, just like you're going to cut the knife, but so lightly, just to take the little bit of metal off that might be sticking out there. All right, you want to get straight, and you want to pull it like that. And you might even choke up even a little more on the blade.
So like this?
You might slide your hand there, right out there, yeah. And you want to make it straight.
Okay.
Right? Now, if you're tilt, for some reason you're wanting to go over here.
Okay.
45, not, you know, you want it to be square to the right stone there. That's, you see that? All right. So now let's do it for real. All right. So just very lightly put it right down on there. Stand it up straight.
Yeah.
Okay. Very lightly put it right on the stone. You're going to need to put it down on the stone. Yeah, you got to touch it. There you go. That's it. Now, you see this little line right here? Can you see that in this little line right here? It's very, very, right in there. That little straight, that little straight line right there. That's the burr that you just cut off. Okay? Now, go back and do a few stropping strokes on either side of the knife. Yep. Okay. And maybe one more stroke on this side and just pick it up just a tiny bit. And you're done. All right? So let's clean the knife off. Now I would turn the knife, when you clean the knife, I would turn the blade away from you like that. It's much safer. Right? So you don't cut yourself. And then touch it with the or check it with the 3-finger edge testing method. Perfect. Let's see if it cuts this.
Okay.
Look at that. Yep.
Oh, cuts pretty nicely.
Yeah. Hard part's getting it started.
Yeah.
So you just need to kind of get it started.
That's pretty sharp.
It's pretty sharp. I think you've done a wonderful job with this.
Thank you.
So what's the memory aid?
Always thank polite people in Japan.
That's it. Always thank polite people in Japan.